Today is going to be an epic day, and let me tell you why. Well, first of all, we're probably taking the transmission out of this thing and putting that brand new RB25 one in. Second thing is working on the Nismo 6-speed transmission in my car. The rear seal where the tail shaft, propeller shaft connects is leaking. Very common issue on pretty much any Nissan transmission when it's been sitting for a very long time or it's been used a lot, it starts to leak. And because this car sat still for about 7 years, and then when we started using it again, the seal had obviously just deteriorated and started leaking. So we need to fix that. Then I'm probably going to drive this for the next few days, which will be epic. Yeah, so that's kind of that. And Fukuzawa-san's over there finishing up that S15, and probably that'll be running today as well. So enough talk. Let's get this thing jacked up, get me under there, and switching in that seal. Alright, so we're under the car right now, and I've just finished removing the middle section of the propeller shaft or tail shaft, whatever you want to call it. And you can see that there's oil leaking here, and you can see this mark here is where all the oil's been splashing up onto the body as we've been driving. And that's the seal in there, and you can actually see like it's kind of been just dribbling out there. I've got the car jacked up on an angle so the rear's higher than the front, so no oil's leaked out at all when I pulled that out. So what we're going to do is get a pick. We're going to pull that seal out and then tap in the new one with a socket or something, and then we should be all cherry. I think I've said cherry before on the channel, have I? That's something new and fresh. So we got everything back together under here, cleaned everything with the parts cleaner. I also think I found where a lot of my vibrations coming from is this like mount here was just going straight to the exhaust to the bolt point here, which then connects to the chassis. So I put a bit of, cut out a bit of tire to put under that to try and help with vibration until I can make or get a better mount that has some actual like rubber in this. We might be able to just make one ourselves later in the future, but for now that should help a little bit. We'll see though. I also Loctited that because I left it on a little bit loose, so it has a bit more room to kind of move on the rubber. But otherwise, I think that's it. Kind of got everything done under here. So what we'll do is probably put this thing on the ground, and then we might start working. Let's get out. Might start working on this thing and dropping the transmission out of that so that everything's ready for that to go in. But for now, let's get this thing back on the ground, clean up all the tools and pack it all up. So just out taking the car for a quick test drive. Main thing we want to do is do a few pulls and stuff like that, make sure everything's all good, and then get back to the workshop, have a look under the car and make sure there's no more oil leaking out of the transmission. But so far, seems like we're all good. And the vibration's a little bit less too, from just putting that little bit of tire rubber on the exhaust mount there. So I'm pretty happy about that. Alrighty. So Fukuzawa-san's now under there. We did check the transmission and there is no oil there, so that's good, no more leaks. He's right now taking the bung out for the wideband sensor we're going to throw in there, and then we're going to go and go for a bit of a drive. Okachan's going to check and make sure that the tune's all good, probably make a few little changes there for the new cams, and then I'll probably drive this home tonight and see how it goes, because I want to make sure that that smell of transmission fluid isn't coming into the cabin, and that was definitely it. If it wasn't though, then there's definitely something going on with a seal or something with my shifter. But that rear seal was definitely leaking a lot of oil, so glad we fixed that. So before we make any changes to the tune, as you guys know, we redid the cams and everything, and we need to make sure that the timing is all good. Before anything else, we're going to throw the timing light on and see where it's at. And if we have a look down there, it may be hard to see on the camera. I don't think the camera will show it at all actually, but it is off. So we're going to adjust the CAS a little bit to get that back in the line where it needs to be. and then we'll make some changes from there. So what we're doing now is adjusting the cam angle sensor to make sure that the timing lines up physically on the engine to what the ECU is outputting here on the Aoba-Ku water temp meter 2. This is the version 2 one, and this is currently saying that it's fluctuating between 10 to 13 degrees, maybe sometimes 11 to 15 degrees. That's what the ECU thinks it's at. So we need to make sure that the engine physically is replicating the same. So if we're reading something over there, let's say we're reading 20 degrees, but this is only reading 10, then we know we're 10 degrees out of where we need to be. So made some changes to the tune, going for a little quick test drive. In Mexico, of course. Only in Mexico. Yeah, it is way smoother and way torquier in the lower end. For sure, what a difference that made. All right, jumping in paradise when it comes to S15s. Driving Aoba-Ku's daily to pick him up when he parks the old loader truck. So it's a little bit of it's not like too far away, it's like a minute drive, but this is his daily car, so it's kind of really nice inside, has an angle kit and everything though. My car's faster than this, he said, because this is only like 350 horsepower. But this one's still really nice, and I don't think I've ever seen him drift this, even though he has it set up for drifting if he wants to, because it's a street machine, but still, really beautiful interior. It smells nice in here. I mean, he's even got like tissues from up there, just in case, you know, I don't know. Anyways, gonna go pick him up, and I guess go from there. I'm not sure what we're doing tonight. Oh, he's even got TV in this thing? Hell yeah, that's epic. All right, let's go. Well, that was fun, playing chauffeur, picking him up, driving him around. Oh man, this rain is getting a little bit weird. So Typhoon's rolling in tomorrow, which actually leads me to the next thing I need to talk to you guys about. Got a bit of bad news about going to Osaka. So because the Typhoon's rolling in on Saturday and Sunday, and it's supposed to be way more destructive than any of the other ones we've had this year, we've pulled the pin on driving down to Osaka for Meihan and the competition there. But what we're going to do is we're going to drive for next weekend, so the 18th, 19th, and 20th. Anyways, that aside, we've got to go push this ugly thing, which shouldn't be at this workshop. No, it should be. It should be. It's good to see Aoba-Ku being a little bit more, what's the word? Not variety, but I don't know. I feel like it's almost like racism towards cars. You know what I'm saying? You get it. All right, time to push. So we're closing up the workshop, and you guys are probably wondering, why is my car still here? So there's nothing wrong with it. It's just, we needed to jack the car back up, remove the wideband sensor and all of that, and refit the ECU, and I just didn't feel like doing that and keeping these guys overtime, essentially. So we just parked it in there. I'll drive it home tomorrow night, and actually tomorrow night's gonna be good because I'll be going to the PAs and stuff, doing one of my tours, so I might take this out instead, which would be really cool. Actually, that'd be sick, debuting this thing at Daikoku PA and Tatsumi and all of that. Get some sick photos, that'd be awesome. Anyways, so yeah, we're closing up. I don't know what we're doing, if we're having dinner or what yet. I haven't figured that out. But I've just been crazy busy with work stuff. That's why my laptop's here half of the time. I'm working on cars or doing Otaku Garage stuff. But also, if you're watching this, Zach, thanks for visiting. One of the staff members from GK Tech popped by and said hey, which is really good to meet him in the flesh. But for now, I don't know what I'm doing, so we're gonna figure that out and pick the vlog up from there. All right, so I'm back home, and unfortunately I ended up just going home. Today was kind of a little bit all over the place. I had a bunch of stuff to do in the morning and stuff, which took up a bunch of time. And then the parts never arrived for the white S15 that I was supposed to help take the transmission out with, and a whole bunch of stuff. So we just didn't take the transmission out because there's no point making it unable to move if the parts aren't there for us to, install the new transmission so it can move. So we just had to wait for all of that, and probably get onto that tomorrow. But otherwise, pretty epic day, honestly. I'm glad we got a few things sorted out. I worked out that there's another vibration I want to fix, which looks like it's the, there's a little weird bracket mount that comes off the screamer pipe for my wastegate, and that just goes straight to the body of the car, which is kind of odd. So I'm going to probably just remove it altogether, because I mean it's bolted onto the wastegate with 4 bolts, and I don't think that's going anywhere unless my whole wastegate falls off, but that's bolted on with 4 bolts as well. So Anyways, it should be okay. So I'll probably look at that maybe tomorrow as well. And I may even start pulling the dash out in the S15 because we need to change that and get the new cage in and things. So there's a lot of things to still tidy up in the interior. I'm hunting around at Yahoo auctions and stuff for some interior pieces and things to just make the interior nicer, you know what I mean? Like, I think when I drove Oka-chan's daily car tonight, it really made me go, yeah, you know what, I kind of want to make sure the interior is nice and spicky clean and stuff and smells nice, put some nice cherry air fresheners in there, you know what I mean? You know, like, the thing is like, everyone kind of always comments and asks this, like, why do you care so much about the interior, or why do you want to make it comfortable? It's a drift car. Well, I've got to drive 2 to 3 hours sometimes to these drift events. I drive the car to the event and then drive back again. So I try to make the interior the best experience I can. Like, bear in mind, obviously, suspension and stuff like that. I do sometimes soften the suspension with the damper settings, like when I go home and stuff, if I remember to. 9 times out of 10, I don't like doing that because I always forget to set it back when I'm at the track, and then I spend like the first 2 sessions figuring out, why doesn't my car feel good? And it's simply just because I forgot to change the damper settings back. So I just kind of stopped doing that. But anyways, all of that aside, lots of stuff probably happening again with the S15 tomorrow. So definitely keep an eye out for that and keep watching. Also, to any of you guys that are newly subscribed, hi, my name is Sam. Check out some of my videos and I'm sure you'll enjoy it. I'm mind blown today because so many different news agencies on their websites did stories on my Trust Kikaku videos. Even in Russia, it's insane. If you've been following my Instagram, you probably know that there's some memes happening because of it. A couple news places said that I'm a British YouTuber, a British vlogger, which I thought was hilarious because there's not an ounce of Brit in me at all. Anyways, enough chit chat. Thanks for watching. Make sure you like, comment, share, subscribe. I'll see you all tomorrow for another epic vlog. Peace out. Ja mata.